Greetings, duelists, and welcome to another video. So, today we're going to talk about another DM era monster. The last time I covered DM era monsters that are vanillas was when I showcased Memento for the first time. For those who are unaware, most of the Memento monsters are retrains of all these older vanilla monsters. And to this day, most of those vanilla monsters we don't have in the TCG. This Leo Wizard that you're seeing on the screen has not been on the TCG as of late or as of yet by the time of this recording. Why am I bringing up Leo Wizard? The reason I'm bringing up Leo Wizard is because they announced a new retrain of Leo Wizard that's coming out in Duelist Advance. The card is called Leo Wizard the Dark Mage. So the stats of this Leo Wizard are pretty much the same as the older Leo Wizard, except for the attribute and the level. It is a Dark level 4 spellcaster, while this is a Earth level 5 spellcaster. But the rest of the stats are still the same. We're still looking at a spellcaster with 1350 and 1200. And this card's effect reads, you can only use the third effect of this card's name once per turn. Monsters whose original level is 4 or lower with more than 1350 attack and defense require 1 tribute to normal summon from the hand. At the start of the damage step, if this card battles a light monster, you can destroy that monster. If this card is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can add 1 monster with 1350 attack from your deck to your hand. Let's talk about the more niche effects first. There is only 1 monster with 1350 attack besides itself, because Leo Wizard can add another copy of itself. It doesn't say it cannot. There's another 1350 monster that is meta relevant. I'm going to have you guess what card that is, because I will showcase you all the targets by the end of this video. So that is a little pop quiz while I explain the rest of this card and its applications. I do like the second effect. I wish it could have been a little bit stronger than just destroying the monster. If you would have made it for it to like bounce the monster to the hand or destroy or banish the monster, this card would have been relevant to this particular metagame, because it means that this card would have been an out to Ryziel Detonator. Sadly, it only destroys the card, so that Ryziel Detonator can protect itself by detaching, which makes this card a little bit awkward into Ryziel Detonator. Now, let's talk about the first effect. Monsters whose original level is 4 or lower with more than 1350 attack or defense require 1 tribute. So this looks like a very niche effect at first, and you're probably not hitting a lot of monsters with this. But if we take into context the current format of the OCG, this card hurts a couple of decks. Ryziel is the biggest denominator here. With both Sword Ryziel and X Ryziel both limited, this deck is heavily normal summon reliant, and the main normal summon is Ice Ryziel. Ice Ryziel cannot normal summon if you require a tribute under the Leo Wizard. So this card is pretty much a very strong floodgate against the Ryziel deck. And take note, prior to the Forbidden Limited list, Ryziel is the current best deck in the OCG and has been for the past 7 months. So just having a monster that is pretty much a floodgate against what is arguably the best deck prior to the OCG Forbidden Limited list is already a big deal. We have Sylvia the White Forest. White Forest doesn't need a lot of its normal summons. However, Sylvie is the only one card combo in the entire deck. So just having Leo Wizard being able to shut that down makes it very awkward for the White Forest deck if they don't open a finite specific number of extenders. So it's pretty awkward into the White Forest deck encountering the Leo Wizard. Dragontail is another one that is worth a mention. Dragontail Lucius is the best starter in the deck. And the fact that you have a card that prevents the summon of Lucius makes it awkward because it means that you have to open Mueller as your other potential normal summon in the Dragontail deck. Orchest has been seeing a couple of tops in the OCG as of late, and both Gearsu and Harp Horror cannot normal summon without a tribute on the Leo Wizard, so that makes it awkward into this deck as well. Memento doesn't get hurt by this as much. Darkblade is like pretty much one of the only ones. However, it is relevant to mention because just cutting one starter from their deck can be very awkward if this is paired with like other floodgates or if this is paired with other defensive cards. Like, imagine your opponent just normal summoning Anguish and they get hit by an Infinite Impermanence or a Fevailer. Now you're staring at a Leo Wizard, and unless you have the extender, like, that might just end the turn. Malice Pichesicat is another relevant one. You're probably thinking, well, Malice doesn't get hurt by this as much. Take note, Dormouse is about to get limited in the OCG, meaning that your only real normal summons in the deck are pretty much Chessy-Cat and White Rabbit, and maybe the backup added Mister. Being able to shut down the Chessy-Cat means the Malice deck has to specifically open White Rabbit if they want to combo off under the Leo Wizard. So that's very awkward into that deck too. Magistus is another one, and you're probably thinking, why am I bringing up Magistus? Well, Magistus topped the China City tournament of last week. It made top 8. And if you look at this list, most cards in this list get hit by the Leo Wizard. Like, the only one that really doesn't get hurt as much is Trudea and the Spoon, but you don't really want to normal summon those cards as opposed to normal summoning Primera or like the Rilliona or the Crowley. So yeah, that hurts that deck as well. I kind of want to bring up something relevant. The K9 monsters are level 5, and Leo Wizard specifically asks for level 4 or lower. So this is a deck that can surpass the condition of Leo Wizard. I just felt like bringing that up because this is a relevant matchup, and if people don't read this card correctly, they will miss-side this card against this deck, and it really doesn't do anything against the K9 deck. But I felt like that was very relevant to bring up. So what are the targets for the Leo Wizard? So these are the most notable targets. If you guessed the Memento Tatsunoshigo by the beginning of this video when I asked for the pop quiz, then yes, you're correct. This is the card that you can search with the Leo Wizard. So I wouldn't be surprised if some of these decks are still meta contenders. I'm looking at Raizo specifically. I wouldn't be surprised if the Memento deck actually plays Leo Wizard, because not only is this card like relevant going first against the Raizo deck, and this is why I think the Detonator situation would have been relevant against the Raizo deck. this card can search for the Tsunoshigo, and it can bait out Detonator's protection effect. So who knows? That might actually be relevant. Other notes that I want to make out involving Leo Wizard is that this is a dark spellcaster. So there are two cards that are relevant here. The first one is Dark Renewal. Dark Renewal is pretty cool because there are other dark spellcasters that can utilize this. And this goes back to the Memento deck. Like, if you play, for example, the Anguish alongside the Leo Wizard, that's enough targets for this card. And this card can, like, summon, like, you can turn your Leo Wizard into the Memento Anguish, for example. The other card that I want to bring up is Magician Navigation. And you're probably thinking, well, this is kind of niche. We haven't seen Dark Magician doing anything as of late. Dark Magician is actually being played now because of Dragon Tail. So, you know, there is a world where you can see that happening. And, like, this could become, like, a niche card for side deck relevance in the OCG. But yeah, that's everything I wanted to bring up. It's pretty cool that we got a retrain of, like, another DM era monster. We do have other retrains that are tied in the Chimera archetype. Others are tied into the Memento archetype. I have a feeling that Konami might make another, like, monster archetype involving these DM era monsters, because we still have a lot of them. There are a couple of these that are still not here in the TCG. For example, look up Sleeping Lion number 2. That card is pretty much a twin of the Leo Wizard, and it's another monster. And the fact that I said the number 2 means that they have other versions. But yeah, that's it from this video. I hope you found this informative to your liking and understanding. More videos coming soon. Keep practicing and keep dueling.